Okay, so there's been a lot of requests for me to make a step-by-step tutorial video for customizing the Surface Pro 3 pen. If you haven't already seen my original pen video that actually shows off what you can do with Event Ghost, do watch that first. This video is going to be very technical. It's going to be more of a step-by-step how do you actually program Event Ghost to customize the Surface Pro 3 pen button. So first of all, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to download Event Ghost. So go to www.eventghost.com or .org. Okay, and once you are at eventghost.org, you're going to want to click on this link, the download page. Okay, and you will want to download the latest version of Event Ghost. In this case, as of the recording of this video, it was June 9th, 2014. So you're going to want to click on that and save the install file and go ahead and install Event Ghost. So on my computer, I've already installed it. So you can see this is the icon on my desktop. And when you first launch Event Ghost, this is what it should look like on your system. You should just have a blank slate. Just to give you a quick primer, Event Ghost is a tool that can let you control basically anything on your computer. It reacts to events and it performs actions. So what I want to do is I want to detect when I press the button on the Surface Pro 3. And after Event Ghost detects that I've pressed that button, I want it to do an action. Open up a program of my choice, for example. So before you can do anything, the first thing you want to do is you want to add a macro. That is this little gear button. So let me go ahead and expand this, make it full screen. So you can add a macro by pressing this little gear button or opening up the context menu and selecting Add Macro. You can open up the context menu by right-clicking on Auto Start and click on Add Macro. Okay, so a dialog box will then open up. So it will ask you to add an action. In this case, the end result, the end action that I'm seeking is for a program of my choice to open. So in Event Ghost, if I want to open up a program or start an application, that option is in the System category. So I click on System to expand that category, and it is the first thing that shows up, Start an Application. And you can see, you can really play around with this and see all the different options that you have access to. I'm going to go ahead and start an application and click OK. Alright, so the first box here, executable, that is where you actually want to have the program. Okay, so I'm going to click on this to browse for my program. Let's go ahead and go to this PC, your drive, which should be C. Okay, and program files. Some of your programs might be in program files, others might be in program files x86. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start an Office program. So Office 14 is the version of Office that I have on my computer. That's the same as Office 2010. So I'm going to scroll down and I want it to open up OneNote. Maybe I want it to actually open up the desktop version of OneNote. So I can select OneNote.exe. Now go ahead and click Open. Okay, so now it's put in the path to open up OneNote in there, and I can press OK. Now this macro will run this action. So now I need to tell it what will trigger that macro. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. Alright, if I go ahead and click the button on my Surface Pro 3 pen, watch the log here on the right. The log will kind of tell you what's going on. Okay, so you can see it has opened up OneNote. And I will go ahead and close out OneNote. And you can see in the log something has happened. There is a system device attached, and it gives an ID of this device. and a system device removed, and it gives an ID of this device. It turns out that these events that EventGhost detected are actually the button presses of my Surface Pro 3 pen button. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drag this into the macro. So now what this macro is saying is that if this event is detected, system.deviceAttached, then start OneNote.exec, okay, that I just pointed it to. This is not what your final script is going to look like. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but I'm just showing you the building blocks, and I'll eventually get to the final product. Now, what will happen when I tap the button of my Surface Pro 3 pen, it will start OneNote.exec. But the Surface is also already configured to start the modern version of OneNote. So when I hit the pen button, then suddenly this modern version shows up. This is not really what I want. I wanted the desktop version. So let's close out of this. And you can see that OneNote has actually opened up. So here is the desktop version of OneNote. It's all here, but I still had to deal with the other version of OneNote when I actually didn't want to. So how can you just go to this without going to the other one? Well, there's a variety of ways that you can do that. One way that I found useful is if you actually give it a key command, okay, to go back to the desktop. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an action. Okay, the action that I want to add is for EventGhost to press a series of keys on the keyboard. Okay, so to do this, that will be under the window category. So let me go ahead and expand the window category. Emulate keystrokes right here, and I will press OK. Now, in order to go back to the desktop, I am going to select alternate. So here's alternate right here. I'm going to insert that, but not alternate and return, alternate and F4. Okay, and it has to be enclosed by these curly brackets. And that will make it so that, and I press OK. So what this says is that when it detects that a device is attached, it will start the program that I selected, OneNote. Since the Surface Pro 3 opens up the other version of OneNote, I will press this series of keys, alternate F4, that will bring it back to the desktop so that I can view my version of OneNote. So let's test this out now. Okay, press my Surface Pro 3 pen button. Boom! That is exactly what I want. So you saw the other version of OneNote did open. It flashed very fast in front of your eyes. You may or may not have seen it. But now I have this version of OneNote, and this is exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's try that again. Let me close out of this. Let me press the Surface Pro 3 pen button. Again, you see it flashed, and now this pops up, and this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Now, there is a catch. Okay, this is actually not what I want, because this here, this system.deviceAttached, unfortunately, that means any device. So when you plug in a USB, or when you attach your Surface Pro 3 keyboard, or if you attach any device at all to your Surface Pro 3, that exact thing will happen. OneNote will open, or something else will open. I only want OneNote to open when I press the Surface Pro 3 button. However, when I dragged this into the main area, this is what came up. It does not have this unique ID. So how do I get this to be the unique ID of the Surface Pro 3 pen button? Well, it turns out it's a little bit complicated to get that to work. You actually have to have a new macro to do that, that basically detects the device being attached and creates a new event. It's a little bit complicated. I will show you exactly how to do it, but if you'd like the full explanation, there's a lot of information on Google. Okay, so let me go ahead and add in a new macro. Okay, and this new macro will actually be a Python line, a Python script line. Don't get worried or freaked out or anything. You don't have to know how to code or anything like that. It's literally just copying and pasting what I'm going to give you. Okay, so under the Event Ghost category at the very top, you will want to select the Python command option. Not Python script, okay? Python command. And then press OK. Now, what do you enter in for the Python statement? Well, I have it right here. This is exactly what you type in. This is something that I put in the video description, so you're more than welcome to copy and paste it from my video description. Or if you can read it on the screen, if you want to type it in yourself, that's completely up to you. But I will need to copy this line of Python code and paste it in here. And then I will hit apply. Okay? So I also want the system device attached to be in there as well. Okay? So let me go ahead and drag this up because I want this to happen first. Okay? So now what this macro is doing, okay, I'm going to actually rename this macro to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to name it Event Converter. The name doesn't really matter. This is just for my own personal convenience and to make it look prettier on the video. But what the Event Converter macro does, when a device is attached, any device, this event will trigger another event which will allow me to copy that device ID into my main macro. Okay, so let's go ahead and press the surface. Let me clear this first. So clear the log. I'm going to go ahead and press my Surface Pro 3 pen button. Boom, this opens up as expected. I actually didn't even see the other OneNote version flash, so that was really good that time. Now look in the log, okay? So Surface Pro 3 button pressed, that's this. Then suddenly Event Converter was activated. And Event Converter created this other thing called device attached with this ID here. This first prefix of the ID, this is absolutely unique to just the Surface Pro 3 pen button that I have. And so if I attach anything else, it will generate a different ID. So I'm actually going to go ahead and drag this into the macro that I was just working with, and I'm going to delete this other one that I initially had in there. Remember, that was just any device being attached, which is not actually what I wanted. Are you sure you want to delete? Click yes. Okay, so now I have this macro, which when this specific device is attached, my Surface Pro 3 pen device, when it detects that event, which is generated by this previous Event Converter macro, then I can do everything that I want to do. So now the result will be the same on the video. When I press my button, sure enough, you see OneNote opens up. So let me go ahead and close this. And just as an example, maybe just to mix it up so that it's not OneNote, let me go ahead and change this. Or actually, let me add something new. Okay, so let's say I want to be able to open more than one program. So I'm going to add an action. Okay, I want to start an application, so that will be under System. I press OK. So now let's say this time I want to open Excel. Okay, so let's start back from the beginning so that we can all look at this together. So go to this PC, Drive C, okay, Program Files x86, Microsoft Office. Everyone may have a different Office version. Mine is Office 14, yours might be Office 15 or something else. Office 14. Now I'm going to scroll down until I find Excel, and you can recognize the icon or start typing it in. Excel.exe, excel.exec. Okay, so I'm going to open that. Click OK. Great. And let me go ahead and just rearrange this so that it looks pretty. Alright, so now when I hit the Surface Pro 3 pen button, I should get OneNote to open as well as Excel to open. Alright, so let's give this a shot. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, I saw the other version of OneNote flash, but it quickly came back here. Here's OneNote, great. Okay, let me close this. And, oh, look down here. Excel did open. Okay, perfect. Let's close this. Okay, so now when you minimize Event Ghost, it will be invisible down in your taskbar, but it'll be active in the background. So let's go ahead and minimize this. You see it's gone down here, but it's still, this green icon shows that it's still running in the background. So now when I press my button, then suddenly I get the result that I expect. Alright, I see this OneNote open, I see Excel open, and I am very happy. Okay, so let's open Event Ghost back up. Now, there is one final thing. Everything works great, and that's perfect. But what I've noticed is that on occasion, when I press the button, didn't happen that time, didn't happen any of the times in this video, but on occasion, OneNote will open, the other version of OneNote, the touch version of OneNote will open, and it will not, this alternate F4 for some reason will not happen. And what I found is that is because that it's happening too fast. Okay, so maybe OneNote took a little bit longer to open, and this alternate F4 happened right before it opened or right at the same time, and it doesn't happen after it's been opened. And in that case, then the touch version of OneNote will just be on your screen. So what I found is helpful if that is happening to you is to actually add a delay, probably maybe a half a second delay or a quarter second delay, or maybe something smaller. You can configure it. So to add a delay, you want to add action. You want to go to Event Ghost, and you want to select wait some time. Okay, press OK. I'm going to have it delay for half a second. That's actually a pretty long time, but just to kind of show you the delay. All right, you'll want to make sure that your delay happens before your keystrokes. Okay, so now when I press the Surface Pro 3 pen button, you'll see that OneNote stayed up for a little bit longer, and then everything else happened as expected. So that makes your script a little bit more robust if you're having problems with OneNote, the touch version of OneNote sticking and not going away like you want it to. Try adding in that delay before you do the alternate F4 keystrokes. And that is it. That is how you can program Event Ghosts to be able to react to the Surface Pro 3 pen button and do whatever you want. I showed opening up programs, but really you can have it do anything. You can even have it open up a media player and start playing your favorite song, or you can have it send an email to somebody. Yeah, that's right. You can even have it so that every time you press the pen button, it sends out a tweet. Okay, so that's just kind of showing you some of the possibilities, but I think most people will probably use it in this way, where they're opening a specific program. So that was my step-by-step detailed tutorial. Let me know if you found this video helpful, and please don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have anything. And also don't forget to like this video. Thank you very much for watching.